So short-term and long-term behavior of polynomials. So short-term is what it seems like. It's just over the short part of the graph, or like in a short period of time when you look close to the origin. Long-term behavior is when you're looking at the entire graph. What are the ends of the graphs doing? You will always, and of course pause this if you need to keep writing that down, but as we always read it as x approaches negative infinity or positive infinity, what's happening to y. So we write this down, or you write it as x approaches. So as x is approaching negative infinity, y is approaching either positive or negative. And then x approaches positive infinity, y approaches either positive or negative. So if you look at a graph that looks like this, so if you look at this graph, as x approaches negative infinity, so you always start at the origin and move towards negative. So I'm approaching negative. So as x approaches negative infinity, what are the y values doing? So if you look, since the y values or the graph is pointing down, y is going to approach negative infinity as well. Okay, then if you look as x approaches positive infinity, so as I move this way, the graph goes up, so y approaches positive infinity as well. Okay, your leading coefficient, or the number in front of the term with the highest degree tells you what is happening. Oops, sorry, you can't even see it. So the number in front of the term with the highest degree tells you what is happening. So if I had y equals 2x cubed minus 3x plus 4, this is the leading coefficient, the 2. So just like the highest degree tells you what type of graph it's going to look like, the leading coefficient is going to tell you what to do. So we have 2x cubed minus 3x plus 4. So notice this one looks pretty much like that. It's just shifted up. When you're talking about end behavior, you don't care what's going on in the middle. You don't even need to look at it. You just need to look at the two ends. So this one, as x approaches negative infinity, y is also approaching negative infinity. And then if you look as x approaches positive infinity, y is going up. Now, I'm going to switch that leading coefficient to a negative. In order to do that on your calculator, if you hit second delete, notice how it says INS. That stands for insert. It will let you insert a negative. Remember, don't put a minus sign like this one. Put a negative out in front. And then I'm going to graph it. Notice, instead of it going up, it's now going down. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. So if I do y equals negative 2x cubed minus 3x plus 4, and it looks like this. That's not a very good drawing, but okay, you always write it as x approaches negative infinity and as x approaches positive infinity. So as my x gets smaller and smaller this way, it's going up. So then y approaches positive infinity. Okay, now I'll look this direction as you move along the x-axis. The values are going down, so y approaches negative infinity. So this is the opposite. So notice if your leading coefficient is negative and it's an odd degree, these are going to be the opposite of each other. If you look at this one, that one had a positive leading coefficient, and notice these are the same. Negative, negative, positive, positive. As it gets smaller, this is getting smaller. As this gets bigger, that gets bigger. Now let's go ahead and do a positive, or an even degree. So y equals x to the 4th minus 2x. X to the 4th minus 2x, minus 2x. So hit graph. Notice this is a positive leading coefficient. Again, we don't care about what's in the middle. So it looks like that. Again, x approaches infinity, negative infinity, and as x approaches positive infinity. So as x moves along the negative or approaches negative infinity, the y values are going up, so it'd be y approaches positive infinity. And then as x approaches positive infinity, the y values are going up as well. So y approaches positive infinity. Okay, now I want to do a negative leading coefficient for an even degree. So y equals negative 3 x to the 6th plus 2x to the 3rd minus 4x squared minus 10. So I'm going to do negative 3x to the 6th plus 2x cubed minus 4x squared minus 10. And I'm going to hit graph. Oops, I completely messed up. That should have been a positive 10 because you're not going to be able to see it. Sorry. Let's do positive 10. Now hit graph. Okay, so if you look at that, it looks like that. Again, when you're doing end behavior, it's just, all you need to really do is just get the basics of it, the basic shape. So as x approaches negative infinity, y is going down. So y would approach negative infinity. And then as x approaches positive infinity, this is going down as well. So y approaches negative infinity. So notice when you have an even degree, they both do the same. They either both go up or they both go down. So remember a parabola, both ends go up or both ends go down. So this negative just tells you if it opens up or opens down. And yeah. So remember odd, one end's going up, one end's going down. Even, both are going the same direction.